Hey gang, Scott Davenport here. Skylum released Luminar 3.1.1 today, so what better time to share a Luminar tip? If you haven't got Luminar, you're thinking about getting it, whether it be Luminar, Luminar Flex, take a look in the video description. I've got a code for you that'll save you a little bit of money. Now, let's take a look at this photo here. So I've got this photo. This is the Sacre Coeur in the foreground. I got the Eiffel Tower in the background. Beautiful place. And I want to talk about color casts. So there's certainly like a bluish color cast going on with this thing. And one of the things we'll normally do to fix color casts is, well, go to this filter called Remove Color Cast, and it will just take away everything. So I do this, I have a method, and Auto 1 tends to work great for me. And I'll just start sliding this away. Notice that bluishness is leaving. I'm getting more of like the afternoon sun that's on here, and that's just cleaning things up pretty nicely, right? Before and after. But what I want to also show you is getting a little more creative with the color casts and pushing them around. There's another filter in Luminar that lets you do this, and it's kind of an interesting way. So let's have a look at that. Let's turn this one off for a moment. And let's go into color balance. There's balance. And what's interesting about this is it gives us color corrections, but for the shadows, the midtones, and the highlights. Let's start in the reverse order, like in the highlights. So this is primarily the highlighted area, this stone turret here. If I want to make that a little more yellow, take a little bit of the blue out of it. I'm going to push it really far. You can see it's affecting the whole image or where the highlights are, but just a subtle tug on it is adding a little more yellow here, taking away a little of that blue. And let's do the reverse in the shadows. In the shadows, I actually want to kind of toss in a little bit of a magenta. Now I'm going to push that far, then take it back. And small movements on these is really what works well. Just small little tugs. Let's add a little hint of more red and less cyan into the shadow. So I'm playing around with this this blue color cast that's in the scene. Let's take a look at what before and after of color balance is. That's before and that's after. And it's not, I wouldn't describe this as this is what my eye saw, but it's interesting, and it becomes a creative way to play around with the color tones in the image with just these subtle little tweaks. You can do a variety of different approaches for this. You could do it with curves, or you can do it with just fixing the color cast outright if you want a one-click operation. But I'm intrigued with color balance just because it does give all these different controls here. And these are a lot easier to work with than, say, a curves tool, where if I only want to affect, say, the shadows and just add a little bit of magenta, taking away green, I'm working in a curve and I'm taking several different points, trying to anchor the curve. This is another more approachable way, if you're not familiar with working with curves, to play around with color and tint in the different tonal regions of your photo. So that is color balance. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you did, let me know somehow. Comments on the video below are great. Got questions about photography? Drop them in the comments. If you want to keep it private, hit me up through my website. And until next time, my name's Scott Davenport. Happy shooting.